Hey, how's it going, chaps? We've returned now with a game of a legend. We're going to go back in time, conceptually speaking, in 1963, because there is something very instructive about this game, which is, if I'm not wrong, like 17 moves, in which the former world champion, Robert James Fischer, or Bobby Fischer, is playing a very, very instructive Evans Gambit with white. And I'm saying instructive because apart from the fact that it gives you an example of the power of the Evans Gambit itself, which is stemming from the Gioco Piano, the Italian game. So apart from this, it shows us the risks of having the king in a center, e-file, and uncastled. So we are going to look at this game here. Again, Bobby Fischer white, fine Reuben, which is a psychologist, university professor, excellent, very strong chess player during 1930s to mid-50s. Okay, so let's just look at this gorgeous game here. E4, E5. We said the Italian game, or Gioco Piano. So knight c6. Of course, if you play bishop b5, you're going to go into the Ruy Lopez Spanish. We're not going to do in Spanish today. We're going to do the Italian. So bishop c4. You already see, and we all know, aiming at the f7. It's good to be aware. So be aware that's a bit of aggressive now. And bishop c5. So there's nothing wrong. Everything's cool here. And boom, now we're giving away the pawn on b4. Okay. The whole idea is deflecting the bishop from the dangerous b6 f2 diagonal. So you try to deflect that bishop, luring them away. And now you're going to play c3, d4, two punches, right one after another. Bang. Now you're hitting the bishop. There is a choice, a5 and d4. And when they take back, obviously you can't capture back because the pawn is being pinned. The pawn is being pinned by the bishop to the king. But you don't even need to act on that pawn at this moment here, because you're giving up on this pawn in the opening for a lead in development. So what we need to understand about the Evans Gambit is that you're giving that pawn on b4, you let him take on d4, and you're securing your king because Fischer now castles the king. Short castling. White king is super safe. I mean, safer than the black king, and we're going to see very applicable what I'm talking about here. And you start developing, go for attacking. Okay, so that's the whole thing with the Gambit line, including the Danish Gambit, which I think I did do a video like last year. And very interesting lines in the opening for you. But this one here is also very playable and very sound, and it's interesting to explore as much as you can. But now let's just keep our attention on this particular game. So castles, right? Cool stuff. And pawn takes pawn d4 takes on c3. So now let's just look at the material. You would say, ooh, black is having 4 pawns here. That is cool. And white has got only, what, 5? Oh, no. Huge deficit in material. Yeah, but you know what matters absolutely in chess? Pieces activity. If there is one principle that is reigning supreme in chess, that is pieces activity. It won't matter what stuff you've got from a material point of view in a very concrete way. What it matters is, what do you do with your pieces? What do they do? Are they active? Have they been developed? Do they actually attack something? Are they coordinating with each other? That's what matters. Okay, so queen to b3. What does that do? Well, you already see now there is a battery here. f7. Oh, that's it. You're starting the attack when you do the Evans Gambit. Now, there are 3 main stuff here that black can play. One is by far the best and leads to equal game. And I'm going to reveal that stuff to you. So the worst thing, knight h6, it pains me to think about that one, because there's already a bishop here that takes, and you're going to take, and the king is still in the middle. And I just hate it. So that would be one of the last lines for you to consider. The best one is queen f6. The best one is queen f6. And of course, you will continue with bishop g5. Okay, you continue bishop g5, queen g6, knight c3, and they should take to deflect your queen from forming a battery aiming at f7. So that would be one very wise way for you to proceed, having blacks here if you really get into this. But fine here chose to play e7, which is not considered as the strongest move. Very natural. Now you develop your stuff. Knight to c3. Knight to c3, given a chance, oopsie, you're going to be jumping onto d5. Whoop, just like that. Now they play knight f6 because they kind of like getting desperate now. They they want a castle. So they want a castle here. You see? And now they should have taken the knight actually just to take the steam off a bit. Just take the pressure off the f7. But they haven't. So that allows white to play with tempo, attacking queen. And you've got to respond to this. You've got to respond to this. So they took, and now he took back with the pawn. Notice the subtlety, my chess friends. If you take the bishop, you don't really force something. I mean, it's cool. You could take, but stronger, take with a pawn because you elicit black to react. When a pawn attacks your piece, you got to move. That piece is 3 points. You can't just leave that knight on c6. So now they moved. But oh, alas, it's just so painful to look at this. I know there is a bishop, I'm aware, but the prospects are scary as hell. So knight takes, forcing stuff, right? And queen takes. The heck, I mean, yeah. And now look at this beauty. Bishop b2. Oh, wow. Guys, do you notice something? Bishop on b2, attacking along the b2 ha diagonal. Wow, this is really, really problematic. I don't want to have blacks in this position. No, sir. Thank you very much. No. And, oh, God, that's a problem. It's absolutely a problem here. That resembles a little bit with the Danish Gambit, which is based on the same principle with the bishop c4, queen to b3, and the bishop on b2. So this is just to keep in mind this structure. Even if you are low in pawn, so to speak, I mean, look at the piece's activity. Look at the bishop on c8. Does the bishop on c8 do something? No, it doesn't even exist from a practical point of view. Does the rook here exist? Nope, not really. What about the other rook? They haven't even been castled. So you could throw them out the window because they don't matter from a practical point of view. And what's more scary is that the king and the queen are on the same file. Oh, no. And now the queen has to move, and you're gaining another tempo to playing your stuff. And now, of course, Bobby Fischer hits the queen now. Hits the queen, you know, just try to make the queen go away from guarding over the g7 critical square, which he takes bang straight away. Rook is being hit. Rook goes on g8. Okay, and just to keep in mind that is looking this way, and if they've got a chance, it might be critical at some point. So you need to be aware of that one too. But now it's a little bit too late. You play a very nice tactical sacrifice. Rook e1 checks. You may wonder, yeah, but can I just take that guy? You kind of can, but that's already too late, I'm afraid here. Because if they take, you are going to be replacing it. So they can't move to the right. They can't block with anything. They're going to have to go here. You're going to have to play something like queen g3. And if the queen takes your guy, you're going to have this game over. Okay, so king had to go, so he didn't touch it. Queen to g3, and based on the same principle, frankly, if you wonder, yeah, but what if I take the queen? The same old, bishop to f6, and just simply checkmate. Evans Gambit, guys, very interesting way to be dealing in the opening. It's good to know this traps white or black regardless, and what it means to have the king uncastled in the center, subjected to all sorts of nasty attacks and a very concise and a very critical way if you deciding to play in this fashion. Okay, play like Bobby Fischer. Study the Evans Gambit, guys. Meet me on my live streams, and we can perhaps discuss some few more ideas on the Evans Gambit. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Subscribe and follow me, and I'll see you soon.